This is where Cinderella said they entered.
It matches up with the message from Anderson. A priority Apollyon warning triggered the second the prototype's vault was unlocked, and this is one of the only 2 elevators that lead to the sub-basement level containing it.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get in there and stop Sin. I'm super strong. Plus, Anderson even sent Trony to do her tech mumbo-jumbo and reseal the door once we win.
A good king knows rushing into battle is for umbilicals.
I think you mean imbeciles.
Oh, yes, of course.
We're so screwed. Alright, everybody in.
Shouldn't we wait for Cinderella? She's, like, the strongest pilgrim.
No, she's not.
We don't have time. This Scheherazade teleported her a continent away. It'll be days before she can fly back here. We should consider ourselves lucky she was at least able to radio in and explain the situation. If we don't stop Sin now, she'll gain full control over this wish-granting monster and become unstoppable.
As king, it is my duty to protect all citizens of the kingdom. Therefore, I shall rescue Snow White and stop this threat. Tally-ho!
Hey, stick together!
Trony, listen. You are the key.
What? Me?
Plot spoiler has shown me when the time comes, show her the truth. Shatter her illusion of power.
No offense, Grave, but I doubt Trony has anything that can break Sin's illusions. Let's go, Trony! Yay!
Not Sin. Good luck.
This is the last will and testament of Trony, version 907.
Come now, child, there's no need for such dramatics.
Sorry, I just don't really want to think about what's happening. I'm not a fighter. I shouldn't even be here. I'm not a super strong Nikke like all of you.
Oh, don't underestimate your own strength. You're definitely stronger than you think.
Wow, Marion, that's surprisingly supportive of you.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're an SSR, Trony. Unlike Rappy. Because of that, you're definitely stronger than her.
How's it feel having my other half kick your butt off the top DPS spot ages ago? And now Cinderella makes you even more irrelevant. You're the past, and I'm the future. We both know I'm getting a shiny new SSR version any day now. They've finalized my design and everything.
Yeah, well, it's a mid design. Super mid.
You're just jealous.
I'm sorry, Rappy, but it is indeed mid. Back to your concerns, Trony. I know how to ease one's mind in these fretful moments before battle. We shall make a tier list.
What?
Yay!
And given how Trony has access to more classified information than any of us, we shall make a list of the most secret and taboo of all subjects.
The money printing machine?
They prefer the term abnormal units, but yes, the money printing machine. We shall rank the burst animations of the D-Wave visitors. Rankings will be based on how detailed the animation is, the character's burst voice lines, how well everything thematically fits the character, thus how good it looks when set as a lobby wallpaper. We'll also be considering alternative costumes. Let us start with the most infamous of all, MAKIMA.
And here I thought the coat in her game model was her biggest issue. But what is this? Her burst animation is literally just her sitting.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with just sitting in your burst.
Also, you're one to talk, Marion. Your default burst is you laying on your back with your eyes closed.
Hey, Rapunzel said that position is super popular with many commanders.
Oh my!
Every day, I question his decision to send you to live with the Pioneer Squad. Back to this burst. This might literally be the single worst burst in the game. Nothing happens. Even hardcore MAKIMA fans have to admit this is lazy. F tier.
Well, since this is rock bottom, the only direction to go is up, right? Here's Power's burst.
Your logic is quite sound, Trony. Indeed, this is better than the last burst. Better in that it is still garbage, but instead of being filled with AIDS-infected needles, this trash pile is filled with hepatitis-infected needles. So it is technically an improvement.
Despite on its surface looking action-filled, There's very little animation here. Her sprite just goes from being small to being large, but she never actually swings her hammer or anything. Also, the lack of any English voice acting again just shows how rushed and low effort both this and the MAKIMA bursts are. D tier.
Wow, this event sure does live up to its legendary reputation of being the worst. All that's left is the free SR, and there's no way an SR unit could have a better burst than the SSRs. Here's HIMENO. Wait, it's good?
Again, arrogant child. You have much to learn about the ways of the world.
Yeah, Marion, take that. This has so much detail, with an intense close-up and cool transition leading to the reveal of her ghost devil arms. SRs can have cool bursts. We can!
You too should calm yourself, Rappy. While it is undoubtedly the best of the 3 Chainsaw Man collab bursts, it is by no means particularly great. B tier. Which, to be fair, is significantly higher than this event's story was ranked in the Ranking All Nikke Year 1 Events tier list.
Speaking of story, when snooping around some restricted files in preparation for this mission, I discovered the original outline for this whole Marion fanfic story arc. In it, Export actually had the entity behind the mysterious door being all the copies of MAKIMA's coat that players threw away. After ShiftUp released her coatless skin, the coats were going to have coalesced into a sentient monster that had the property of no one wanting to ever look at them. Kind of like SCP-055, the heroes were going to use the coats to cover up Marion's fanfic papers, thereby making them impossible to observe.
Oh, can we do that? It sounds way easier than fighting a genie-enhanced sin. Also, then people would stop blaming me for all this, when all I did was show my true love for the commander in the most pure form possible. Dirty, dirty fanfiction.
I'm afraid the coat version of this story wouldn't be dramatic and depressing enough for Nikke. This next collab, though, certainly is. The most obvious collab imaginable, and one people were asking for before Nikke even launched. It's the Nier Automata collab, starting with 2B's default burst.
You can't hold a candle to me.
You know, Rappy, everyone says you and 2B sound alike, but I just don't hear it.
Buijiten wa kikanai.
What?
I don't hear any similarities.
This is so cool, so powerful, so smooth, so, sexy.
Be not ashamed to celebrate beauty in all its forms, Trony. Even your weird, degenerate burst has beauty. In the eyes of some very, very disturbed people, this burst is S tier, and ass-aptly what fans wanted. Get it? Ass-aptly? No? Perhaps my kingly humor is too aroused for you to understand.
I think you mean too advanced?
Oh, yes. That was a test. And you've passed. Congratulations, Trony. You are the newest honorary member of the kingdom. I can already see you and Kilo becoming best friends. And even better, you can now both fix all the things I accidentally break while riding tram indoors. To think, Chime insists I walk on my own 2 feet when going from the couch to the kitchen. A king must gallantly stride forth on her majestic horse to inspire her subjects at all times. Though I suppose if I could train Trom to just grab me a drink from the fridge, that would be even better.
I keep telling you to just have Kilo build you a mini fridge to put next to the couch.
Rappy, help!
Getting us back on track, here's 2B's gotcha skin, YORHA Uniform 1.
You're wasting your time.
Such a pretty outfit! And the animation is great, too!
Yeah, this is definitely a gotcha skin that's worth the price, unlike a lot of others. Plus, it still has the fan service players want.
While I agree the outfit is probably one of the best in the game, the burst itself isn't quite as spectacular. It's not bad by any measure, but it still tops out at A tier.
And now for the red hood to 2B's Rappy. It's A2.
Mode B activated!
I'm really not sure how to feel about that comparison. Though, the more I think about it, the more accurate it becomes.
This really does give the feeling of a powerful berserk mode being unleashed. It's so exciting. Though the last shot of A2 just holding her hands up in front of her face is a little odd. Her lunging into action at the end like 2B's default burst would have been neat. Still, this is easily A tier.
Last for Nier is a little robot who's just trying his best. It's Pascal.
I'll take care of this! Oh hey, it's the name of Export's favorite Disney character.
Oh, Disney tier list when?
This burst does have a lot of near lore, but as my little sister said in the Pilgrim Burst tier list, lore alone doesn't make a good burst.
Your what?
Wait, my what? That's weird. Where did that come from?
Your point is true, Rappy. While I'm certain Nier Automata fans can appreciate the symbolism in this burst, it is by no means exciting or notable. D tier.
Now for what is probably one of the weirdest collab events. It's the ReZero collab, starting with Emilia's default burst.
You asked for this, and I thank you for it. When I first saw the classified report summarizing this event, I thought it must have been a cover story created by the central government. A cooking contest? Seriously?
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. But as far as this burst goes, it's like a drastically improved version of MAKIMA's. Both are just sitting and smiling at the camera. However, this one has enough movement and cuteness to make it more appealing.
Are we certain this is actually Emilia from ReZero and not a Pokemon collab?
In what possible way would this be a Pokemon collab?
Well, her face is so off-model that I had assumed it must be a Ditto pretending to be her.
Off-model faces aside, this is a cute if plain burst. B tier. Continuing on with Emilia, we have her gotcha costume burst, Clumsy MAID.
I'll give you my best shot!
Now, can we rant about how weird this event is?
Go ahead.
Why a maid event? Is it seriously just because Rem and Ram are maids? Also, while the characters aren't as covered up as MAKIMA, there's still much less fan service than you'd expect for a Nikke collab.
I am almost certain that was at the direction of the makers of ReZero, White Fox Studio.
Don't blame them for putting Emilia on a near-exact copy of Aid's outfit. It's so unoriginal, so uninspired, definitely not worth the price.
But didn't Export buy it?
Well, yeah. She named her cat after Emilia after all, but it doesn't mean sane people should buy it, and the burst itself is so... I don't even know how to describe it. Bland? Lazy? Disappointing?
You're being overly harsh. Yes, it's nothing amazing, but it's far from terrible. If it was assigned to any Tetra Nikke, we'd all say it was average. C tier.
Well, if you've calmed down, Marion, we can move on to the second SSR in this collab, Rem.
Get ready! Who's Rem?
I didn't expect such a joke from you, Trony. Nicely done.
What joke? I pretty much only watch Arc Ranger reruns and play games. I'm not actually familiar with this franchise.
Oh.
Once again, an average burst from an average collab. Too close up to really appreciate the action at the start, and what action there is isn't very detailed or movement heavy. However, the final pose is nice. C tier.
I'm excited for this last one.
You're a Ram fan? Is it the somewhat similar hair color?
No, it's because once again an SR has a better burst than all the SSRs.
I'll make you regret this. Wow, this really is better than the other ReZero ones. Are they called abnormal units because, despite all expectations, the SRs have better bursts than the SSRs?
Truly, this is what Rem's burst should have been. A nicely detailed close-up, leading to a wide shot with a wonderful background. It would have been even better if Puck, or some flames, had made an appearance to reference her dramatic confrontation with a certain someone. But still, this is a splendid burst. A tier.
I'm starting to worry this list is going to feed Rappy's delusion that she could ever compete with me for the commander's heart. I can only imagine the convoluted, self-indulgent nonsense she'd have to construct in her head to ever think she has a chance. And speaking of convoluted, self-indulgent nonsense, here's Evangelion, starting with ASAKA.
I've got to ask, is there like a dedicated team at ShiftUp that only does collabs? And they just reuse ideas from previous ones, hoping to eventually get it right? Because this is basically Power's Burst from the Chainsaw Man collab, but with more action.
A harsh, if accurate assessment. There's a bit more animation and much more action, but it is still shockingly similar. I suppose we can raise this up a tier for the improvements over the original. C tier.
Marion, you've hated on a lot of the gotcha skins, sometimes unfairly, but I think we can all agree, this one is the biggest ripoff of all. And it's not even close. It's ASAKA, Test PLUGSUIT.
How? Just how? She has 3 alternate costumes, and somehow they choose this obscure piece of garbage as the one that gets a burst? It's barely different from her default PLUGSUIT. Cynical Street should have been the burst.
Look on the bright side, child.
What's that?
It's so bad, and the past skin was so much better, that you saved $60 not having to buy this one.
Huh, I guess you're right.
Finishing up this burst. While it does have more fan service, showing her kinda suiting up, it could have gone a lot further. The animation is honestly kind of bland and boring. D tier.
Speaking of suiting up, I'm going to get naked.
To power up and fight Sin, right?
To do what?
Maybe letting Red Hood take over my body and forcing her to deal with this nonsense would have been the better option.
I know Marion is still worked up over that last burst, but I believe this next one will turn that frown upside down. It's Rei. Rei Ayanami. Not the penguin one. Wait, I mean it's not the Rei with the penguins, but we will talk about the penguin later. Wait, I mean...
Just show the burst.
Wow, this is beautiful! And not just because of Export's preference for Kuderace, as demonstrated by Snow White being her favorite character.
Oh, is that an Archranger mech behind her? That's so cool! Can she move out of the way so I can get a better look at it?
This simple yet cinematic burst truly is special. Easy S tier.
Since Kara Studios are experts at milking their fans for money in collabs, there of course had to be a third SSR. It's Marie.
Good movement, a lot of shot variety, and overall super cool. A shame I have no idea who this character is.
The central government records show she's from the Rebuild films, starting with Evangelion 2.0. You can advance.
Thank you, the kingdom's official human Wikipedia and oversized tarsier. With that question answered, Marie shall go in A tier. Last is that penguin I mentioned before. Well, its owner. It's Misato.
Don't say it, Rappy.
Once again, the SR gets a burst that's better than most of the SSRs.
I think there's some debate if this is better than Marie's, and it's definitely not better than Ray's, but it's still really good. Kinda wish we got to see Pen in this burst though. A tier.
I think we're nearly there. How's your preparations for resealing Scheherazade going, Trony?
The more I look at this schematic Anderson sent us, the more I don't see how this thing can even be scientifically possible.
This is Nikke, child. Worry not over the details. That is a path that leads only towards disappointment and schizo-Reddit threads.
Can this thing really grant any wish?
I mean, the VTC locked it up pretty quick after it came online, so they didn't really get a chance to test its full limits. But considering how spectacularly bad those first few wishes went, I think it's safe to say that yes, it seemingly can grant any wish.
Like, making it so me and the commander get to live happily ever after? With lots of babies and a farming sim spin-off game?
Yes, even stupid ones. Now focus, we're nearly there. What is the plan, Rappy?
We'll never win a fight head-on. Trony, you're going to need to shut down whatever's powering Scheherazade.
Me? How am I going to sneak in?
We shall draw Sin out. With the power she now wields, she likely believes herself to be impotent.
It's invincible, you idiot. Ugh. Look, like the heretics, Sin is so stupidly prideful, she'll take the opportunity to show off rather than finish the fight quickly. Right, Marion?
Hey, did you forget how cool it was when I caught that bullet in my teeth?
As I said, stupid heretics.
I'm not really sure I can do this, guys. I'm not a fighter.
Don't worry, because if you fail, we all die.
How is that supposed to make me feel better?
It's not. It's supposed to motivate you.
Don't worry, dying isn't so bad. I've done it at least twice, kind of. And besides, this is Nikke. Nobody stays dead forever. Just ask my new bestie, Chatterbox.
What the? We are going to have a serious follow-up conversation on that later, Marion. Trony, just stick to the plan and look for your opportunity. Now, encounter!
Oh my gosh, where's the power source? You're Scheherazade, aren't you? Please, you have to stop Sin. She's evil and she's going to betray you. Please.
She's not going to listen to you, you sneaky little girl.
How are you back already?
With my new friend enhancing my Kodadama, even turning off their audio sensors wasn't enough for those three to resist my power. Dealing with them was child's play. Don't worry, they're still alive. I'd much rather use her power to make their deaths especially painful.
I wish Sin was gone. I wish Sin was gone.
Oh please, I've promised her freedom, while you all want her caged. And she's not going to grant wishes that don't benefit her. What could you possibly offer the most powerful being in the Ark?
The most powerful? No, she's grave. This is what you... Scheherazade, I wish you knew what the power source of the Ark really is.
Huh. Of all the wishes you could make, that's what you waste yours on? And here they said you were the smart one. Now then, I wish these bothersome fools suffered an excruciating death. And then we can both be free. Hey, did you hear me? I said deal with these pests before they can recover. You, what did you do?
I gave her perspective.
Perspective? On what?
That she isn't as strong as she thinks she is, and that if the Ark falls, she's going to have a whole lot more trouble than some Nikkes or Raptures to deal with.
Damn you. Well, I don't need a wish to kill a weakling like you. Die.
I wish Sin was gone. It worked? Scheherazade, you're leaving? Wait, before you go, we need to cure Marion's mimetic virus, or the Ark will fall. And you know what it means if that happens. Please, you know why the Raptures haven't destroyed the Ark yet, even though they could have done so at any time. You know they aren't afraid they can't beat humanity. They're afraid they can't beat what comes after they beat humanity. Please, Maxwell already managed to synthesize a cure. I just wish for it to be distributed to everyone who needs it. Right now. Thank you?
Trony, are you okay? Where's Sin?
She's gone. I don't know where, but Scheherazade sent her away.
And where's Scheherazade?
She teleported away. I'm assuming it was part of her deal with Sin. I can't guess the specific wording, but if I was Scheherazade, I'd have forced Sin to make a failsafe wish for me to be free, no matter how this fight ended. The exact terms of that wish were probably the only thing that kept Scheherazade obeying Sin for as long as she did. But I don't think Scheherazade's a threat to the Ark. Not for now, at least.
As much as I hate to admit it, even I probably couldn't have recontained her if she hadn't fled.
Humility? From you? Are we sure Sin didn't actually kill us and I'm in heaven?
Would I be within 1,000 miles of you if you were in heaven?
Yes, to watch as the commander and I mean...
And here I thought your cooking fetish went the other way.
I'm getting a message from Ingrid. What? This can't be right. She says the cure to Marion's virus Maxwell created has been deployed throughout the Ark.
Hey, I thought we agreed not to call it the Marion virus.
I believe we have our newest member of the kingdom here to thank for that. Am I correct, Trony?
I think it might be better to give Rappy credit for this one. I'm scared of all the paperwork Suin is going to make me do if I explain what really happened.
I'll come up with something. Let's head back.
Wishes are the things of nightmares. Wishes bring only despair. Abandon your heart's desire, or you'll unleash horrors beyond compare. Abandon your wishes, abandon your wishes, abandon your wishes, abandon your wishes. Abandon your wishes, abandon your wishes, abandon your wishes, abandon your wishes.
I always thought my scheming and acting skills were top-notch. But you? Just wow. You really managed to pull this whole operation together fast, after intercepting Kilo's warning to Suin about Marion's virus. Though, considering how long you've had your eyes on this prize, I assume you've had plenty of time to brainstorm plans. It was clever of you to indirectly trick Suin into using me to fix the virus. I can't imagine any other situation where the central government would ever let me out of max security. And it's not like there's any other Kotodama wielders you could bargain with to control Scheherazade. Not to mention force those access codes out of Dorothy. Speaking of which, telling that pink-haired egotist that her oh-so-precious former commander was begging for her help just to get her down there so I could order her to open the door? Chef's kiss. Sure, I think both of us realized pretty soon after we got in the vault that controlling something that strong with mere words was never going to work out. Frankly, I'm pretty sure you were counting on that, as I was definitely going to betray you the second I gained control of her. But judging by that smile on your face, I think you got all the data you needed from those terminals in the room. Of course, I do hope you'll remember to fulfill your end of the deal. I want my own copy of Siren's Spindrift, and if there's anyone on Earth that can make me one, it's you. So tell me, what's our next move, Sea Soul?